A very good evening. Glad you could join us right here on Lookuptv. This is Lookup News. Nancy Nalima here and Felista Adundo on the sign language interpretation. We've got lots lined up for you this evening. Before we get into all of that, here are our top stories. Tonight on Lookup News, about 15,000 lawyers vote for Law Society of Kenya new leadership. The government suspends operating licenses for 49 gas companies over non-compliance. And the 2024-2025 budget estimated at a whopping 4.1 trillion shillings, the National Assembly reveals. Once more, welcome to the program. This is Lookup News across all our social media platforms at Lookuptv on X, Lookuptv on Facebook, and Lookuptv on our YouTube channel. Feel free to engage with us, give us your feedback. I'll be sampling some of that in the course of this broadcast. Let's begin. The 2024-2025 budget is expected to hit 4.1 trillion shillings mark. This is according to the National Assembly Budget and Appropriations Committee led by Kiharu MP Ndindi Nyoro. This comes as the government seeks to reduce on borrowing, with the Kenya Revenue Authority expected to raise at least 2.9 trillion, as Stanley Lugaria now reports.
Is a budget of 4.143 trillion shillings. And being a budget of 4.143 trillion shillings, we are envisioning to raise this money from ordinary revenue, which are basically taxes, to a tune of 2.94 trillion shillings.
As preparations for the 2024-2025 takes shape, the new year budget is poised to hit a whopping 4.1 trillion shillings, slightly 100 billion shillings above the current budget. This is according to National Assembly Committee on Budget and Appropriations Committee Ndindi Nyoro during a press briefing on the impact of the 2024 budget policy statement to the country's economy.
I shouldn't be telling Kenyans that GDP grew. Kenyans should be feeling it in their pockets. And that is the exact thing that we are doing in this budget, to reallocate our resources in areas that will guarantee Kenyans shared prosperity, where most of the Kenyans will actually feel the growth.
Of the 4.1 trillion, the Kenya Revenue Authority is expected to raise at least 2.9 trillion shillings, with 400 billion shillings collected from various government revenue collection facility or centers, as the government sets sight on reducing on borrowing.
So we are not just looking at the figures and looking at the ceilings. We go further and we are devised the committees so that when it comes to the figures, when we're doing the budget estimates, then we make sure that these projections and estimates are aligned to the budget policy statements.
Napokopa, basi pesa hizo lazima zitumike kwa miradi ya maendeleo. Si pesa ya kulipa mishahara na kulipa marupurupu ya wafanyikazi wa serikali.
According to the committee, Kenya will pay 1 trillion shillings interest rates as a result of the ballooned debt in the next financial year, proposing generation equity to ensure borrowing does not affect future generation, as well as an additional 3 billion allocation to Immigration State Department.
Na katika hii process tunafanya, tumeongeza shilingi bilioni 3 katika immigration services, kwa sababu tunataka wakuwe up to date with the equipment they need.
As we scrutinize the BPS, we are also interrogating functions or items of expenditure to see the extent to which, first of all, they are realistic.
When you look at the medium-term debt strategy, the optimal mix is 45 domestic borrowing, 55 external borrowing. When you look at the BPS, which has been discussed by the Budget and Appropriations Committee, the proposed mix is 48 external, 46 external, 54 domestic. So they are interchanged.
Stanley Lugaria, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
And the counting of votes is currently ongoing following the Law Society of Kenya elections held across 36 centers earlier today. About 15,000 members of the Law Society of Kenya voted to elect new leaders who will take charge of the society's affairs for the next 2 years. Lawyers contesting for the LSK president post include Peter Wanyama, Faith Odhiambo, Bernard Kipngetich, Njoki Mboshe and Caroline Kamende. The elected official will take over Eric Theuri, whose 2-year term has come to an end. Vice President, gender representative are also among positions that will be filled. Let us now take you live on the ground. See, the voting is still underway, and confirmed sources telling us that Faith Odhiambo is currently in the lead. But however, unconfirmed sources followed by Manyonge Peter Wanyama at 862, Daudi Caroline Kamende at 368, Ngetich Bernard Kipkoech at 475, and Mboshe Harriet Njoki at 198. There is, however, unconfirmed reports, but we are keeping a close eye on those the voting and the counting of the votes that did happen today. So far, about 30 out of the possible 48 streams have been counted, and the results are still trickling in. So we'll be keeping you up to date. Then confirmed sources revealing that Faith Odhiambo is currently in the lead. Remember, Faith Odhiambo was also endorsed by Azimio leader Raila Odinga, and many people on social media saying perhaps that's what it was to her advantage. But however, we'll be keeping you up to date when they announce the winner, who will be the LSK president for the next 2 years, taking over from Theuri, whose 2-year term has come to an end. There are 5 candidates who were vying for the LSK presidency. And remember, there are also other positions which are going to be filled: the gender representative and as well as the vice president. So we'll be keeping you up to date as and at when we have a winner. The government now says 49 illegally operating gas filling plants have been shut down out of 138 licensed plants. According to Energy CS Davis Churcher, who appeared before the National Assembly Committee on Energy, this is in a bid to avert such a crisis in future. Churcher further promised to address the issue of compensation and ensure the process is expedited.
Trumps up its efforts to ensure such an explosion doesn't happen again. Energy Cabinet Secretary Davis Churcher has announced closure of 49 gas filling plants out of the 149 licensed. The 49 including 2 gas plants owned by Derek Kimathi, the owner of the same gas plant that exploded in Muradi area in Embakasi a few weeks ago, a plant that the CS says was operating legally.
Responsibility that if we know there is an illegal operation running anywhere, including those that are being reported by Kenyans today, for a member of parliament to admit that it was known to all of us, to some of us, that it was operating. Was it licensed? At the point, Chair, we have categorically said...
Chair, I'll get an opportunity to give...
It was reported, Chair, that it is categorically not licensed.
According to the Director General, Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, IPRA, Daniel Kipto, the Embakasi gas plant operated as a garage in daytime and as a gas plant at night.
That we have taken as the regulator to suspend the licenses related to the registered leasee of the garage where this illegal activity was happening. We did immediately proceed to suspend the licenses of Mwiki Gas Suppliers and Dado's Petroleum and Dado's Tech and Maxis Nanyuki, trading under Maxis Nanyuki. We did suspend those licenses as an administrative action by the regulator. As I said earlier on, 3 days before the incident, we undertaken surveillance as part of our normal surveillance and enforcement in Nanyuki.
The committee, however, accuses the authority of failing to carry out surveillance as needed, adding that IPRA was aware of the company operations, but of reasons not disclosed, decided to ignore.
Marked for say residential, why would even somebody want to change user of residential area to be a gas center or industrial area? Isn't that the purpose of marking certain areas for specific things? So that if we have areas for refilling gas in industrial areas, they are particularly for those particular purposes.
Mevin Getembe, Lookuptv.
Right, and of course, news just reaching us. Faith Moni Odhiambo has been elected as the president of the Law Society of Kenya. This is after the vote counting has been completed. She will be the 51st president of the LSK and the second female president of the LSK. We are on the ground. We'll be crossing over anytime just to speak to her on her new, of course, her new position as president of the LSK. Moving on, Kisii County Deputy Governor Robert Monda has been impeached by the County Assembly, with 53 MCAs out of 70 voting for his ouster on Thursday afternoon. One MCA abstained from voting, while 13 others opposed his dismissal. Monda came under fire after allegations surfaced that he accepted a bribe to assist a resident in obtaining a job at Guasco Water Company. He was also accused of abuse of office, which he denied when he appeared before the county on Thursday morning.
Seven, I now declare that the Deputy Governor of Kisii County Government, His Excellency Honorable Dr. Robert Monda, has been removed from office by the Kisii County Assembly by way of impeachment.
It would seem everybody came with a fixed mind, especially on the other side. Where we come from is to say that there were very serious legal defects in the motion. It was moved out of time. The format requiring details to be supplied at the time of moving the motion was not available. The allegations being that the issues were in the hands of the police and the EACC, and that we should have awaited their investigations before bringing the issue to the assembly. All those were ignored.
So I'm not surprised that my colleagues were mobilized, 53 number, to actually vote, to come in and vote in favor of impeachment of the deputy governor. But that notwithstanding, we have experienced that there were quite a number of errors, and omissions and commissions that were committed in the process of transacting this very particular motion. We have addressed ourselves on the floor of the House. You already have the clips, what we have addressed ourselves. But it appears that this motion was already predetermined. The direction which it was going to take, it was already known. And that is why you actually realize that even the Deputy Governor, it is only today he had an opportunity to appear before the County Assembly.
And azimio coalition leader Raila Odinga has expressed confidence in clinching the African Union Commission AUC chairperson job. While addressing a crowd after opening Marani Market in Kisii, Raila said he has won endorsements from presidents within the East African region and beyond. In a bid to capture support from East African heads of state, Raila said he will be heading to Kigali for talks with Rwanda's Paul Kagame.
Marani hoye! Marani hoye!
A fierce battle is expected among member states vying for the influential position, with Raila Odinga, widely recognized as champion of democracy and Pan-Africanism, expected to heavily rely on his networks within the continental body to secure the seat.
Juzi mimi nilikutana na RUTO na Museveni. Nilienda kutafuta kura ya Museveni. Sawa? RUTO vilevile akaja pale, alikuwa vilevile na shughuli pale. Kutana na yeye. Nikamwambia hata wewe nataka kura yako. Wakakubali yeye na Museveni kwamba watanipiga mimi kura.
In a bid to capture support from East African heads of state, Raila said he will be adding.
Right, and now let's cross over to the LSK headquarters, where we'll be speaking to Faith Moni Odhiambo, who's the newly elected president of the LSK, the 51st president. Crossing over.
Hi.
How are you feeling, like the whole process? How is it?
So I want to say that this whole process has been a bit of anxiety, of course. As we started the process, though it went smoothly, opening of the polling station, just ensuring everything started well, having your agents there ready for the entire voting. And we had a bit more traffic at the end, where we had a bit of incidents here and there with regards to some of the members being locked out of the polling stations, and some seeking extension of time by virtue that certain polling stations had started later than others. But the counting went well, it went smoothly, and we have been getting our results, and the provisional results show that we are leading in the polls. And I can say that, yeah, it's been an exhilarating, exciting moment.
And so what can you, like, for your opponents, like, what do you have for them?
I would say that for my different opponents, they were worthy candidates that stood beside me as we both sought the mandate of the members to serve them. And I would say that each of them have an electorate that the members trusted in, that the members believed in, that the members wanted to work with. And I would say that to each of our members and behind this larger electorate, let's come together, let's work together. LSK is bigger than me, LSK is bigger than you. Let us bring the differences that we have, let us put them together, put our minds together. We have a huge blueprint that we need to put into action to ensure that we deal with the challenges of the practice spaces that members are having, and how can we expand and open new opportunities for members. We also have the challenge of dealing with the welfare concerns and the larger problem of ensuring that we protect the rule of law to defend not only the profession but also members of the public that are looking to the Law Society of Kenya. And so I say, with this huge mandate that we have before us, let us come together, let us work as one, because when we sit together as one, we'll be able to do much more, we'll be able to serve the members of the Law Society better.
And so what can you promise the people if you are the president?
I would say that, God willing, my leadership will ensure that we fight for not only the members of the public towards the kind of PL cases that we'll have, and also the pro bono matters that will ensure that we set in place to also take care of the interests of our membership and the members of the public, but as well as in law reform, we'll ensure that we are more vigilant in the kind of laws and bills that come out, so that we can also adequately advise Parliament and ensure that we stand against any arbitrary laws that may harm the members of the public.
Last word to your campaigners, the people who helped you with everything.
I want to say to my campaigners, you are amazing, and no words can thank you for the sacrifice, for the hard work, for so much that you've given towards this campaign. And most importantly as well, to the membership, that you have entrusted this mantle to me, that you have entrusted this leadership upon me. I cannot promise you that I will work with you, I will work for you, and I will listen to you, that we can build a law society that is responsive to your needs. Thank you. Okay. And most importantly as well.
And right, that is straight from the LSK headquarters, right here in Nairobi. And our reporter on the ground, AB, speaking to the 51st LSK president, who is Faith Moni Odhiambo. She has just been declared like an hour ago, giving her vote of thanks, of course, to her campaign team, and as well as talking to her opponents and just saying that it was a good fight and she is happy to have won, saying that she will put the interest of all the lawyers at heart, of course, and she will seek to fight for their rights as well as the rights of every Kenyan. She becomes the 51st president of the LSK and the second female. This coming after the former CS Omamo, who was the president between 2000 to 2002. Faith Moni Odhiambo, the new LSK president, will be sampling some of your feedback. Do let us know what you have to say concerning the stories that we have, and of course the leadership of LSK president Faith Moni Odhiambo. We take a very short break. So much more on the other side. Don't go too far.
Mambo ni mawili, kufikisha, kumwaga na kurudi. Kulala ni mwaka mpya.
Muka we mse. Nini mbaya? Wewe kwani vile dereva anaendesha gari vibaya? Lazima tususe. Anaendesha gari na kwa simu the whole time hata angalia barabara. Mwaka iliyopita peke yake watu zaidi ya 1000 walipoteza maisha yao barabarani kwa sababu ya tabia kama hizo. Hautatuangamiza tukiona.
Naomba msamaha, nitampeleka vizuri.
Si wameomba msamaha. Sasa twende tusafiri kwa mwendo wa aste.
Dere Smart hufikisha abiria salama. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na NTSA kwa ushirikiano na European Union.
University of Nairobi is a distinguished institution of higher learning dedicated to nurturing your intellectual curiosity and pushing the boundaries of knowledge. From state-of-the-art laboratories to modern libraries equipped with the latest resources, we provide you with the tools you need to succeed. Choose from a wide range of programs designed to prepare you for challenges of tomorrow's world. Whether in STEM, humanities, business, or the arts, our strong industry connections and career service support will help you translate your education into meaningful career opportunities upon graduation. Join a vibrant community of scholars from around the world, fostering cultural exchange, collaboration, and lifelong friendships. Book your space now for September intakes. Log in to https://www.uonbi.ac.ke for a wide range of courses to choose from. You can also contact +254 020 491 0000 or email us at pr@ounbi.ac.ke.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. This is Look Up News. I am Nancy Nalima. Our sign language interpreter is Felista Adundo. Going back to our story, Azimio Moja coalition leader Raila Odinga has expressed confidence in clinching the African Union Commission chairperson position. While addressing a crowd after opening Marani Market in Kisii, Raila said he won endorsements from presidents within East African region and beyond. In a bid to capture support from the East African heads of state, Raila said he will be heading to Kigali for talks with Rwanda's Paul Kagame.
Marani hoye! Marani hoye!
A fierce battle is expected among member states vying for the influential position, with Raila Odinga, widely recognized as champion of democracy and Pan-Africanism, expected to heavily rely on his networks within the continental body to secure the seat.
Juzi mimi nilikutana na RUTO na Museveni. Nilienda kutafuta kura ya Museveni. Sawa? RUTO vilevile akaja pale, alikuwa vilevile na shughuli pale. Kutana na yeye. Nikamwambia hata wewe nataka kura yako. Wakakubali yeye na Museveni ya kwamba watanipiga mimi kura.
In a bid to capture support from East African heads of state, Raila said he will be heading to Kigali for talks with Rwanda's Paul Kagame. So far, 7 African presidents have endorsed Raila's AU bid.
Sasa mimi wiki ijao hii mimi naenda kuona na Kagame. Kagame vile vile nataka aingie ndani. Mama Suluhu tayari amesema ako tayari atanipiga mimi kura.
While addressing a crowd after opening Marani Market in Kisii County, Raila said that he is ready to compete with other candidates who will show interest in the position, and if he is defeated, then it is well with him.
Sasa mimi naona yule ambaye atatoka tutamanyana naye tu kwa kiwanja. Akiniangusha sawa sawa.
On Wednesday, Odinga laid fears that the AU job will block him from actively participating in Kenya's politics.
Sasa mimi niko na nyinyi. Baba haendi mahali. Sawa sawa. Nikienda Addis Ababa hapa ni saa 2 tuna ndege.
John Matava, Lookuptv.
Moving on, 3 children lost their lives today morning after their house was engulfed in fire. The trio were dead asleep when the mattress they were sleeping on caught fire, and despite efforts to save them, they were pronounced dead on arrival in hospital. Shamila Baraza now reports.
3 children aged 7, 8 and 19 years died after a mattress they were sleeping on caught fire. Their mother was however rescued and is nursing serious injuries at Kakamega Referral Hospital.
Huyu mama imekuwa Candle ndio iliingia kwa mattress ikachoma mattress, lakini venye tumesikia mwenyewe hajachomeka sana, amechomeka mkono, na kitu yenye imeua watoto wamesema ni moshi.
The neighbors narrated that they heard screams in the middle of the night, only for them to wake up and find the house on fire, adding that they broke the door and found them unconscious and rushed them to the hospital.
Saa 7 usiku tukasikia masauti kusema saidie. Tukaamka tukakuja tukapata moto inawaka kwa jirani na moshi inapita kwa hiyo ventilation. Na tukajaribu sasa kubomoa dirisha ndio tuweze kuzima huo moto. Tulipojaribu kufungua, kwa sababu walikuwa wamejifungia ndani, tulipata kwamba kafuli alikuwa amefungia mlango na chini na kafuli.
Deputy Commissioner Geoffrey Mayama has warned the residents to be careful when sleeping at night and make sure they turn off electricity to prevent similar cases.
Askari wetu wa Ikolomani walifahamishwa wakakimbia huko kujaribu kuokoa maisha, na walivunja mlango wa nyumba wakaokoa mama na watoto wake 3, wakawakimbiza katika hospitali kuu ya Kakamega, lakini kwa bahati mbaya wale watoto wakawa wamesemekana wameaga, na hicho ni kitendo cha kusikitisha. Mama yule bado ako hospitalini katika hali ambayo sio mzuri, hali ya kusikitisha.
The bodies were taken to Kakamega Mortuary. Shamila Baraza, Lookuptv.
Moving on, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, led by the Chief Executive Officer Twalim Barak, has labelled the issue of corruption as a national threat. Speaking at Pwani University, Barak emphasised on the importance of collaboration with various institutions in curbing the threat, raising concerns about the rampant forgery of examination certificates.
Kilifi County, Twalim Barak, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, issued a stern warning regarding the scourge of corruption, labeling it as a significant national security threat.
One national security threat of this country is corruption.
Barak highlighted that crimes such as terrorism, certificate forgery, and the collapse of various organizations are all linked to corruption, and stressed the urgent need for decisive action to address this problem.
If it is terrorism, those foreigners get documents through corruption. If it is unemployment, foreigners don't want to invest in this country because they fear about our reputation on corruption. They will not ask. They will just go to the Transparency International and they see we are 126. They have a second thought. Should we invest or not?
Furthermore, Barak raised concerns about the rampant forgery of examination certificates in the country and called upon government and relevant institutions to work together diligently to eradicate these unethical practices.
Fake certificates, the Public Service Commission, we were together with them and we launched that exercise because of one thing. We want to safeguard the reputation of Kenya that its academic world or academic discipline, it is still reputable. If we don't do that, we are going to have a problem. When exams are being distributed, the minister will come, officially open the container. It has 3 padlocks. Padlock ya NSIS, ya GSU, ya DCI. Still those exams are stolen. The problem is not the Minister of Education. The problem is not the government. The problem is the society. Because people steal those exams because there are parents who are more than willing to buy exams so that their kids do what? They pass.
The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has, however, pledged to continue its efforts to fight corruption, and that the commission is committed to working tirelessly towards a corruption-free nation.
We embrace ethics and integrity. I think we are much, much closer to heaven than ever before.
Martin Masharia, Lookuptv.
We take another break here on the program. So much more on the other side. Don't go too far.
Tere, mambo ni mawili, kufikisha, kumwaga na kurudi. Kulala ni mwaka mpya.
Muka we mse. Nini mbaya? Wewe kwani wani vile dereva anaendesha gari vibaya? Lazima tususe. Anaendesha gari na kwa simu the whole time hata analipa barabara. Wewe dereva wewe. Mwaka iliyopita peke yake watu zaidi ya 3,000 walipoteza maisha yao barabarani kwa sababu ya tabia kama hizo. Hautatuangamiza tukiona.
Naomba msamaha, nitapeleka vizuri.
Wameomba msamaha. Sasa tuende tusafiri kwa mwendo wa aste.
Dere Smart hufikisha abiria salama. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na NTSA kwa ushirikiano na European Union.
Welcome back. This is Lookup News. Glad you could join us. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki has met leaders from a section of the North Rift in a bid to find lasting solutions to the current insecurity in the region. The CS hosted the delegation on Thursday at Harambee House in Nairobi, where he pledged to continue the engagement and review the interventions required to address historical, current and emerging security challenges. Leaders present included Governor Benjamin Cheboy, Senator William Cheptumo and Women Representative Florence Jematia. Over 55 bars operating illegally have been closed down in Kirinyaga County. This follows an ongoing crackdown against the sale of illicit brew following the death of several people earlier this month. Faith Charles with more.
Illicit brew takes shape across the country. Various leaders have voiced their support to the national government against the sale and consumption of illicit liquor. Speaking at a forum in Kangaimwe constituency in Kirinyaga County, the Deputy County Commissioner Lawrence Omondi indicated the number of illegal operating bars currently stands at 18, following the crackdown and calling on leaders to join hands in the fight against illicit brew.
Tutasukumana na hawa watu. Hapo hakuna uongo. Tutasukumana kabisa mpaka tuone tutafika wapi. Na mimi najua mkinishikilia nyinyi kama wananchi wa hapa pamoja na mshikilie hawa machief, hawa watu watatuweza? Hawatatuweza. Mimi nataka tushirikiane, tuweke hiyo kitu, tuipee kipaumbele, iwe juu kabisa, mambo ya kupigana na hii pombe haramu.
According to the Nakadak Central Region Manager Amos Warui, since the beginning of the fight against legal alcohol, the rate consumption has reduced, claiming that the exercise aimed at educating residents against the harmful effects of illicit brew that has finally bore fruit.
Since the crackdown started after the unfortunate incident, the rate of alcohol consumption has gone down. Of course, you know the bars were closed by Her Excellency the Governor. But later on they were opened after they did the vetting, because you know liquor licensing is a devolved function of the county government, and the numbers have gone down. And as NACAD, we're also trying to request them and remind them that we reduce the number of outlets.
However, area member of County Assembly James Wambo has supported the closing of all clubs, claiming that this is the only way to protect the residents and ensure that the future of the youth is safeguarded.
Zile kirambu zote ziko kwa vijiji ziondolewe zote. Na nimfahamishe siku ya kesho tunaenda kukaa mbunge mzima, na ile sheria tunaenda kuongelea kesho ni sheria ya pombe. Kwa hivyo tukiipitisha katika mbunge itakuwa sheria, na wewe ikikukata kubali imekukata.
Charles, Lookuptv.
Several heads of state and world leaders are meeting at the UN headquarters in Gigiri, Nairobi, to discuss modalities to combat plastic pollution, which is fast becoming a menace to the environment. The assembly is part of a series of meetings that are geared towards formulating regulations that will form a treaty on plastic handling in the world. President William RUTO has called for concerted efforts and the elimination of barriers in the funding of efforts towards climate conservation. Henry Tande with more.
The assembly, which was opened today in Gigiri, Nairobi, has brought together several heads of state under the UN umbrella and other world leaders to critically analyze the effects of plastic waste on the environment and human and animal life.
This is a real problem. Plastic fills our waterways, plastic goes into our oceans, we have plastic in our bodies, and it is not, as we heard from Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus in his speech, this impacts our health. So therefore, we need to find the solutions, and the solutions are entirely doable.
Speaking at the assembly, President William RUTO has called for unrivaled multilateral engagement and concerted efforts in the fight against plastic pollution in the world.
Given the magnitude and the urgency of the existential crisis that humanity and life on our planet is grappling with, only collective action at the multilateral level that is effective, inclusive, and sustainable will enable international community to tackle climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution.
President RUTO has insisted that obstacles and favoritism in the global funding of climate mitigation efforts ought to be eliminated for the war on degradation to gain meaningful outcome.
Climate change is no longer to be seen as an abstract concern residing in distant future, but a real and present danger that requires urgent collective action from all of us.
Henry Tendanyula, Lookuptv.
Now, for the first time, Mombasa Port has gone down in history after receiving the biggest ship ever in the country. The 318 meters MVMSC Kotka ship from South Africa is expected to carry more than 5,000 tons of cargo from Mombasa Port towards en route to Port of Abu Dhabi. The arrival of the ship is expected to boost income and strengthen trade not only in Kenya but in foreign countries.
318 na hii kwa poti ni ongezeko la revenue kwa nchi, inakuwa pia itaongeza uchumi. Pia huyu mwananchi kule chini naye pia atapata manufaa. It's a win-win. Zile meli kubwa zinakuja kwetu, alafu zinamwaga container zao hapa ama zinashukisha zikienda katika ni port za jirani. And after here, it's going to sail to Abu Dhabi.
And in the county's Public Health Principal Secretary Mary Muthoni has called on Tobacco Control Board and Pharmacy and Poisons Board to launch a massive crackdown to wipe out all illegal nicotine products. According to Muthoni, the emergence of many illegal nicotine products are affecting health of many Kenyans, especially young people. She says it's unfortunate that some pharmacies are stocking illegal medicine in the shelves, calling for all stakeholders to join hands in the fight against illegal medicine, drugs and illegal nicotine products. Onesmus Musonyo with more in the county wrap.
A crackdown on illegal nicotine products and unauthorized medicine has been issued by the Public Health Principal Mary Muthoni. This follows a surge in the number of illegal nicotine products in the country.
With judiciary, watusaidie hao watu wakipelekwa kotini, because like the person who was selling the Kira illicit brew, I'm told he was taken to court 16 times. And I also want to approach.
It not just cause respiratory and liver ailments, but also cancer.
To place jobs for the young people. We want the young people to stop being idle. As a country, we may not absorb everybody that we produce because we have many that we produce every other day.
Elsewhere, as the government intensifies the fight against drug abuse, Garissa County Commissioner Mohamed Mwabuzo has issued a stern warning to all drug peddlers and smugglers in the county, noting that time has come to deal with the roots of drug abuse in the county and to save the society. During a special meeting with county and sub-county security team, the county commissioner noted that the government will not sit back and let greedy peddlers have a field day in destroying the lives of others.
Tell the people who are doing this business that their days are numbered. We've come up with a raft of measures. Tip on the ice is carrying out soups on all the joints where we feel that these drugs are very rampant, and taking action.
Finally, operation at Kobesa Market in Isiolo South resumed after elders brokered a ceasefire deal between elders from the Abduwak clan of the Somali community from Garissa and their counterparts from Borana community of Kina in Isiolo. The peace deal followed a series of meetings courtesy of Isiolo Peace Link that were held in Isiolo, Garissa and other places, ending 5 years of tension and suspensions among members of the two warring communities.
Isiolo Peace Link na shirika zingine wakaweza kutusaidia kwa facilitation. Tukafanya mkutano Garissa mara mbili, wazee wa kila upande.
Let's now get sporty. The 2024 NCBA Golf Series has been officially launched today at the Royal Nairobi Golf Club, marking the beginning of an exciting journey for golf enthusiasts across East Africa. This is the 4th edition since its inception in the year 2021. This year's series promises to be bigger and more exciting than before. The 2024 NCBA Golf Series will span across golf clubs not only in Kenya but also in Uganda, Tanzania and Rwanda, solidifying its position as a premier golfing event in East Africa. The series, comprising of 23 legs, will take off with the first leg set for this Saturday at Kenya Railway Golf Club before traversing various clubs in Kenya and beyond.
The 4th edition of the NCBA Golf Series, which we launched the first one in 2021. This series keeps getting bigger. So this year we are doing 17 tournaments of the series. Within that we have the Junior Golf Series. Within that we have the Kenya Amateur Golf Competition that we also sponsor. So all in all we'll have 130 events that we shall be sponsoring within this series, spending 60 million shillings towards this series for 2024, capturing the 4 East African countries, so we'll be in Kenya, Uganda.
FKF Premier League champions Gor Mahia have been banned from signing new players by FIFA. This is after the club failed to pay 4.3 million shillings owed to former Mali international goalkeeper Adama Keita for wrongful dismissal. And the Heat Squad team has arrived in Italy for the first World Olympic qualifiers that will be held in Basto, Arisizio City from today, the 12th of March this year. The team is among the 670 boxers at the event, competing for the 49 available quotas in the global qualifications. And French international Paul Pogba has been banned from football for a span of 4 years after being accused of doping. The 30-year-old football player was suspended in September after testing positive for a compound that promotes the production of hormones in the body last year, August, following Juventus' game at Udinese. And we've come to the end of the broadcast this evening. We appreciate you so much for watching. Remember, the top story tonight is the LSK 51st president, who is Faith Moni Odhiambo. She becomes the second president of the LSK after former CS Omamo, who was the president from between 2000 to 2002. And so she begins her reign today, Faith Moni Odhiambo. And let me just run a few comments that you have across X. Abdullahi Adan says, it is so much joy for Faith Moni Odhiambo to be elected as president of the LSK. Maria Mbeneka says, the 51st president of the Law Society of Kenya, congratulations Faith Odhiambo. Of course, many people just congratulating Faith Moni right here across X. And let me sample a few more. Faith Moni elected president. This is a new beginning. Go, go, women. Some of your feedback coming across X. And another person called Kenya First says Faith Moni Odhiambo has been elected. This marks a new beginning for lawyers in the country. We appreciate your feedback. And Olatea says she is the only second woman to hold this position after Rachel Omamo. This shows with his strides that women are making. And finally, Cornelius K. Rono says the LSK presidential elections Faith Odhiambo has led. This is a new beginning for lawyers in the country. And of course, that's the biggest story of the night. LSK new president, 51st president, Faith Moni Odhiambo. A lot of people congratulating her. And we did speak to her earlier on, and she acknowledged her opponents as worthy opponents in the race towards becoming LSK president, and of course thanked her campaign team, which has been on the forefront just to make sure that they lobby for enough votes. And as well as she has thanked everyone else from the IBC, all those who have prepared the elections that happened today across 36 centers across the country. We'll be keeping you up to date as and at when she officially begins her reign right here on Lookuptv. You can also keep up with the stories coming in fast at www.lookuptv.co.ke. And of course, keep up with us across our social media platforms at Lookuptv on X, Lookuptv on Facebook, and Lookuptv on our YouTube channel. Appreciate you for watching. I am Nancy Nalima. Our sign language interpreter has been Felista Adundo. Have yourselves a pleasant evening and good night.